Yeah.
Welcome to We Run It. On the road to WrestleMania. We Run It.
On the road. Let's go.
Word. Welcome to We Run It. New episode.
Yo, what up?
What's going
We
on?
all in here today. Shout out to DJ.
Yo.
Serge.
What's going on?
Myself, Steve. We're going to do some recapping today. Starting off with the Raw recap. It was a pretty eventful Raw. I mean, like, they get more and more hyped as you get closer to WrestleMania, obviously. I think that this one was more impactful because it was in Madison Square Garden, so it was a New York episode.
Mecca.
Yeah, like always. Like, when you in the Mecca, you know, special things happen most of the time.
Okay,
right?
thanks for not disrespecting.
Nah, I ain't gonna
Appreciate
it. I mean, I've been there for...
continue, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we just gonna leave that one right there.
Thank you.
You know, the main event was CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. And, you know, those two, they hate each other's guts. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you were in for a match. It was a steel cage match at the very end of Raw.
Mm-hmm.
They're going back and forth. Yep. Obviously, those two are just going to put on a show no matter where they're at. And, you know, Seth sets him up with the curb stop.
Yep.
Right? Kind of like falls back in the corner a little bit. You're ready for the finish. You know, you're at the climax of the match. Pause. And
thank you.
Essentially, the cage door just rips open, and Seth gets snatched right out of the cage, falls on the ground, and he's declared the winner. But he's aggressively pulled out of the cage, so you're really trying to figure out who the hell just ripped open the cage door and snatched him out. And sure enough, it's OTC. You know, so he makes his dramatic return. Coming last time we saw him was Royal Rumble, if I'm not mistaken. He had the double leg curb stomp at the very end, got his ass injured for a couple months. Courtesy of Seth Rollins, his past lifetime homeboy. And he came back to get revenge. So Superman punch, spear later. Seth is really just completely out of it, and he doesn't stop there. He curb stomps Seth right there outside the ring.
Yes. He
goes for another one on the steel cage steps, and he gets stopped in his tracks. You know,
security
try to stop it, and you know, just as you're thinking it's over, you look into the ring, and Mr. Paul Heyman himself is
the wise man.
The wise man is consulting with CM Punk, who's like still kind of out of it in the cage, and OTC loses it again, goes into the cage, slams Punk's face into the cage a couple times, takes him out, and it's over, right? So, obviously, this is setting up a triple threat match for WrestleMania. We already knew this was going to happen after the Royal Rumble events, but these three are set to, you know, probably take each other's heads off, and probably one of the main events for WrestleMania on one of the two nights. And I think that the centerpiece of this match is going to be Paul Heyman. So who knows how this ends up? Who knows what the outcome of all of it's going to be? But what is your take on it, Serge? What do you think?
They set it up beautifully because I think they put the emotion into the event. So right when Roman Reigns curb stomped Seth Rollins, did you hear the gasp in the air when everybody realized he was looking at Paul Heyman and CM Punk in the ring?
Mm-hmm.
That like everybody knew what was up. Mm-hmm. I think that's the perfect setup for a triple threat. But to your point from earlier, the Paul Heyman favor.
Yeah.
What is that?
What does that look like?
What does that look like? What is it going to be?
Mm-hmm.
And is that why Roman is starting the problems? No, you had no reason to spear this dude.
That's true.
No reason. You really had no reason to spear this dude. You did your business with Seth Rollins.
Right.
I mean, I think it's a setup for a swerve. If you want my honest opinion, a little swerve.
Yeah.
A little swerve.
Yeah.
A little swerve.
What's the swerve look like though?
I don't know if he's gonna continue being the wise man going forward.
Okay, so he has his background as the wise man with Roman Reigns. He has his connection to CM Punk as his manager in the past. Yep. He has no real connection to Seth Rollins. So you think the twist is he moves over to Seth Rollins?
No.
What do you think the twist is? He goes to CM Punk?
Goes back to Punk.
Ooh.
I can see that.
You think that's the favorite?
I don't know if that's the favor, but I think that's going to have a lot to do with it.
There's
There's too much history there. There's way too much history. Granted, you've done a lot with.
But why do you think they go back to that? What was it? Do you remember what happened in the past between those two? Like, where was he successful, CM Punk?
Why?
No, I'm saying in terms of Paul Heyman. Do you remember? I'm just curious.
Wasn't it the pipe bomb?
That's right.
So he kind of like just left the company.
Yeah.
He laid the pipe bomb and kind of took off, and then when he came back, the
story was him and Cena.
Yeah, he greeted CM Punk when he came back, and they like greeted each other in the ring.
Yeah.
So the love was still there. They made sure that you got to see that part, but it was, and then like shortly after CM Punk came back, I remember Paul Heyman got taken out by the Bloodline, and then he disappeared for a while, so we didn't even see Paul Heyman for a minute.
Got you.
Until he came back. So a lot of stuff's been going on. They've crossed paths, but never on any type of negativity or anything like that. So it is pretty interesting. Thinking about what the next step is in this story.
How does he benefit? I would say if he does, to your opinion, what help? How does he help CM Punk?
That's the real question. Like, what is the twist?
Yeah. Exactly.
I know you got to ask yourself, what do they want? So, in terms of Seth Rollins has made it clear that he just doesn't want to see CM Punk win. Like, that's his only thing he cares about. He said that before the Royal Rumble. He literally said, my goal going into the Royal Rumble is to make sure that CM Punk does not win. Right? CM Punk's goal is the main event, WrestleMania 1. And CM Punk wants to win the title. He wants to win the belt, right?
Yes.
And then you look at Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns has just been losing everything around him, right? And he's been slowly trying to get it all back together and kind of pull everything in. But it seems like every time he gets one thing, he loses something else, right? So I still think we're seeing the side effects of the downfall of Roman Reigns. I think he has a lot more to lose. Maybe the next thing he loses is his what is it? The
tribal chief.
OTC status? The Ulafala?
I don't know. Like maybe he just loses Paul Heyman. Maybe that's
the last straw.
Yeah. So maybe that's what the next thing is that he loses. To what you're saying that could be right.
Potentially.
But I don't know how that's a win for anybody.
I guess, that my question too. Like, how does everyone benefit? And where does Roman Reigns go from it? If you know what I mean? If that happens, that's another spin. Does he kind of fall to the lower rankings of the?
No,
you know what I mean?
I don't think
of the
so.
card in a sense.
Not necessarily, because even though he may lose Paul Heyman, I think he's at a status where he doesn't need the world title. He wouldn't need Paul Heyman. Like, he's at the megastar level, so nothing is necessarily going to bring his character down per se.
And what is he now? Is he a heel or is he still a babyface? Or is he a babyface now? What's his character right now? He could be anyone now.
I give you a tweener.
So, right. he's kind of like in between. The reason he is because the people that he kind of like did wrong.
Yeah,
he's like kind of made it up to all of them except his brother Solo. So he got his he apologized to the original Bloodline, with the exception of Solo. He won all their respect. He got the Ulafala back. He kind of like won the Bloodline's war. He never really made up with his little brother Solo. So that was like the last step. And like there hasn't been a reunion really on camera of him and The Rock. So we don't know what that looks like. So there's like still two storylines there.
I think that's strategic though.
Right.
That's strategic.
So we'll see where that ends up. But I mean, outside of that, he's kind of like still the I don't really care type attitude.
Is he the NWO edition?
Well, the thing about NWO is like their mentality was like a gang mentality.
I'm saying you don't think he could,
but his mentality is more like a mafia boss mentality, like Bloodline.
Got you.
Is more like a mafia than it is a gang. The NWO was more of a gang.
Got you.
So I don't know. What do you think?
I think it would be good for him to be a bad guy. And I love the fact that what CM Punk and Seth Rollins are doing, I thought it was good. Because I think a couple episodes back, I talked about they should immediately go after each other. You know what I mean? Like maybe as one's walking to the ring, the other one kind of knocks him from behind, pause, and like starts that. But like how they're kind of like, as you guys said, pretty much be patient about it. So how they're dragging the story along is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I think I want to see, I mean, I don't know enough about CM Punk and Paul Heyman to like give an opinion on what would be a benefit to CM Punk and like what that favorite is. But I would like to see Roman as a bad guy. And I wouldn't mind seeing him in NWO.
See, those three are like the only three people in WWE right now that can be faces that do heel things.
Yeah, I guess that's what I was saying.
CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns. They can all do heel things and still be looked at as faces.
Yeah, gotcha.
So they're kind of like
tweener. Yeah,
they're kind of like
so it wouldn't work.
Legendary status. So like they can get. It's kind of like that Stone Cold thing, you know, where it was like you're a face, but you don't do anything but heel shit, and people still love you.
Love you, yeah.
Like Stone Cold get up on the turnbuckle and give both middle fingers to the crowd, and they just go crazy, right? Same thing.
The dynamic is like between the three of them. Like when Roman and Seth go one-on-one, you could clearly see Roman as the face between the two and Seth is the heel. But then you go Roman and CM Punk, the crowd is cheering for CM Punk. Roman is the heel in that situation.
Got you.
So there's a great dynamic there. To your point, he is kind of a heel a little bit.
Yeah.
Got you. Okay.
If you put all three of them up and you said which one is the heel, you would probably say Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing is like Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns beef goes back like on a whole nother story, right? Storyline that they played in the last WrestleMania. Like, you know, obviously they were a team. They broke up. Seth kind of turned his back on Roman's, hit him in the back with the chair. Roman's started his bloodline thing and, you know, lost both of his brothers, basically. One left the WWE. The other one just went and did his own thing.
Yeah.
He created this beautiful thing for himself, his family, the bloodline, got all the belts he could possibly get in the WWE. And then he lost them because he saw his opportunity to get payback on Seth Rollins for hitting him in the back with a chair.
Rent free.
So when he had the opportunity to either pin Cody and keep his reign as the best and the greatest ever, or get revenge on Seth Rollins, his brother that stabbed him in the back, he chose revenge on Seth Rollins over his own titles. And that's what destroyed everything for him. That's what brought him to nothing. So that played out last year, right? He hit him in the back with the chair the same way Seth did to him, and in doing so, cost him to lose the belts to Cody Rhodes. So I do think the story is going to go back there. It's going to hint to going back there. We may see, you know, some more nostalgia based off of that, which gives CM Punk maybe a escape way out of this storyline and into something bigger. I really hope it ends with one of those belts ending up on CM Punk by SummerSlam, but we'll see what happens.
What do they fight on the first or second night?
Don't know.
I'm saying, where would you want to see it?
Probably first night, night one.
Main event?
Yeah. The title's always going to take precedent.
Yeah.
Precedent.
Well, you want to see the main event be a title match?
No, the title match is always going to be
the main event, regardless of where it's placed. Yeah, is what you're saying? Gotcha.
I think Jey Uso is, I mean, I don't know, because we saw the title match in like one of the first matches last WrestleMania. So who knows how it?
It's all
really
depends.
don't know. I mean, the last match of the first night of WrestleMania last year was a tag team match that decided the rules for the main event match in night 2. So however they end up doing it, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be entertaining. We just got to wait and see.
Got you.
But in the meantime, this is We Run It.
Peace.
When we out.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I felt like how you recapped it, like you were very detailed, and pretty much that's exactly what happened when I watched the highlights. I didn't watch the actual thing, but it's like that's exactly how it played out.
Cool.
And I think